Alright, so I am at Michigan here in the truck series. I got a lap that was a 39.581, which is 1/1000th better than the goal time in practice. So I am calling this setup a setup that you can run a 39.5 with, and I'm hoping I can at least get a 39.6 here on video. I will tell you, these tracks like Michigan, big 2-mile tracks, are not necessarily my strong suit. I think one of the keys to these things is if you want to go really fast, loose is fast here, and you have to be able to drive a loose truck. Really good drivers have no problem with that at all. I have all kinds of trouble with it. So I have to go with a more conservative setup. It's plenty competitive if you're racing, the AI or something. If you're in a real competitive public lobby or real competitive league, there's probably some guys there that can run loose setups really quick and do great with them. So, but with all that being said, let's see if I can lay down a decent lap here and at least get into the 39.6s within a tenth or so of what my best time is. I've been talking, but this has felt like a pretty good lap, and it was. Usually I don't talk and race well. So Michigan, somewhere before you're too deep in the corner, I lift a little bit. Sometimes I'm out of it more than others. It depends on how much I can turn the wheel and get the truck to settle. I don't like driving in real deep full throttle. There's probably some people who can make this whole place wide open. I'm not one of them. But it seems like if you drive in too deep, if you're mid-corner and then try to lift, that hurts your exit speed too much. I'm a fan of lifting a little bit earlier and then trying to get back. So I probably lift a quarter of the way in. For the most part, it's probably a good estimate. Once you do that, you're out of the throttle very little, maybe not even all the way out. Then you're hard back on it. I try to stay down by the yellow line for the most part until I am out of the corner, and then I'm still a little bit below the suggested line. Then I think 1 and 2 is the harder corner. 3 and 4 are a little more sweeping, and it's a little easier to deal with. 3 and 4, I don't have a mark on the track or anything other than I am trying to come in a little low, and I am probably about here is where I lift, which is a little early. It's pretty early in the corner. I lift a little, I come in below the suggested line, and then I'm not out of the throttle very long at all. Then you drop the hammer back on the throttle, and I try to stay down by the yellow or by the white line here as you're coming out of the corner. Once you come out, I try to still stay here below or down near next to the white line. Unlike 3 and 4 or 1 and 2 where you drift out of the wall, and 3 and 4 I try to stay down here by the apron the whole way around. So that is a lap at Michigan. If you're a really good driver, or at least better than I am, you can probably drive it more aggressively. You might even be able to make laps without lifting with this setup, at least until the tires wear. But that is how I drive it. So let's go to the garage and let's talk about this thing. So, in this, a couple things that stick out are the right rebound. I went way up on that to try to get the thing to turn a little bit better. I went with a fairly heavy front weight and wedge, although I had to mess around with it. I was trying to do some things with the front weight and wedge to try to give it a heavier feel, because it seems like the truck was more stable that way. But then I had to back off on it a little bit because I couldn't get the thing to turn the way I wanted it to with it being all the way up there. Springs are pretty typical. Tire pressures are the defaults. Left and right camber, a little bit more than what came on it as a default setting, but not too much. I went up on the track bar simply because I went up on the front weight and wedge, and as I say this in every video, those two to me kind of go together. If you're high on the front weight and wedge, it makes it tight, and you have to go up on the track bars, which loosens it up. If you go down on the front weight and wedge, that really makes the car looser. Then you have to go down on the track bar to try to tighten it up to achieve a balance. So that's the way those things go. The left track bar affects corner entry, the right one more affects corner exit. What else to talk about? The grill tape. I went way up to 65%. Because you are carrying such high speed, I think you can get away with a high grill tape. I guess you're getting a lot of wind or air or something to the engine to help cool it, but it doesn't seem to overheat even with 65% grill tape. I was all over the place on the rear end ratios. I think it starts off with like a 310. I just felt like I needed a little more drive off the corner, I'm sorry, not a little more drive, of course. I feel like I was maxing out. I was almost redlining, almost just past the start finish line. So I dropped it down. I wound up going all the way down to I think a 294, but felt like I was losing too much speed coming off the corners because the engine was kind of bogging or lagging to try to with that high gear ratio. So I settled on a 3. You could probably run it to anywhere from a 294 to about a 310, get pretty similar lap time. So anyway, that is Michigan in the Truck Series. Leave me any questions in the comments. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this is a good setup for you. Please keep liking the videos and keep subscribing to the channel. I'm starting to gain a little popularity and love to hear all the positive feedback and love to see the subscriber base growing. So